energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is up, nerds, and welcome back to the Carbonite Convos Podcast. Today, we are recording episode 94. What's today? It's Tuesday, February 18th. Today, Alec and I are we're gonna be breaking down Captain America: Brave New World. I saw it opening night.
Capitan.
Yes, sir. I saw it opening night. Alex saw it last night, so we had to break it down. I'm super excited. I haven't really been talking about this a lot. You and I haven't talked about it at all, so I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Straight out of the chute, I had a great time. Great time with this movie. Me and my fiance saw it. We had a great time. Got some snacks at the gas station beforehand. Stuffed it in the purse, obviously. Right before the movie started, though, we did make a last-second call on some nachos, and we are very happy that we did. So, overall, ready to get into this thing. Had a great time.
Deal.
Again, for the seventh time, saying it again. Here we go.
Now, did you see it in digital? What did you watch it in?
Yeah,
I don't think
regular.
I don't think I will ever see a Star Wars or Marvel movie ever again not in Dolby. We saw it
Dude,
Dolby
well,
and they introduced this is the some of the theaters by us have like the reclining seats. This theater doesn't, except in the Dolby theater, and it was really the only good time left available. So we saw it Dolby, and dude, it I think it changed the movie, man. Like we could feel the vibrations in the chair, and there was a lot of action. A fighter jet would fly by, and it would literally shake my chair. The sound was around me, so I really don't think I'm gonna see another like movie that I really care about and it not be Dolby.
hmm
It was that good.
it's interesting that you say that because I personally am more of an IMAX guy. I think I just get a little bit overwhelmed in the Dolby because it is so loud, and sometimes I just want a little bit of a break from it. I
Yeah.
personally care more about seeing more,
But
like
see,
just overall the larger screen.
the screen in Dolby is I would think I think it's just as I could be wrong, but I think it's just as big
They're
as
a little.
IMAX.
Hold on, let's fact check this because I think they're shaped a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, either way, I get where you're coming from. I won't see another one and it not be Dolby. It was incredible. So let's just get into this. What were some
IMAX
of
is
your
taller.
okay? What were some of your
It's
initial
the only difference.
thoughts?
Um, dude, I loved it. I genuinely like. You told me beforehand I was gonna like it. Um, you know me so well. I did in fact like it. I was blown away with Sam Wilson.
Same. I don't understand where the hate for this movie is coming from. Like
I don't either, bro.
people are complaining about the CGI, which I thought the CGI was really well done. Um, I don't know. People are complaining about a lot of different things, and I don't see it. Something that I really we'll talk about the negatives first, and then we'll get into everything that we like. Something that I'm not liking that I see online is everybody pitting Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson against each other. Like, oh, Steve is better for this, or Sam is better because of this. I don't think we have to choose who was better. Steve Rogers and Chris Evans did played Captain America on a next level, on the next level for a
Mm,
decade. He's been my favorite since the start of the MCU. And then, his arc came to an end, but he killed the role. And now
mhm.
Anthony Mackie and Sam Wilson are the new Captain America, and he's killing it too. So I don't think it has to be this thing where you have to pit them against each other and pick which one is better. I think you can. They're both Captain America. They both. Steve was chosen to be Captain America for a certain reason, and he chose Sam to be Captain America because of what he saw in him. So I don't understand why people have to pit them against each other. And I know one of the big themes of the movie and Falcon Winter Soldier is Sam struggling to become Captain America while being African American. So that comes up again in this movie, and people are complaining about that they're tired of seeing that, but it's clear that that's his struggle. Steve had his own struggles. He was a man out of time. This is Sam Wilson's struggle, and it's going to be addressed. It's going to. We see Cap deal with we see Steve deal with things. Uh, we see him dealing with the trauma of being a man out of time almost his entire tenure in the MCU. That was his main struggle, and I feel like this is going to be Sam's main struggle. So I don't I don't agree with people, one, pitting him against each other, and two, saying that uh they don't like this aspect of the movie, that they're still tugging that rope, because that's his character. That's what he's going to struggle with. Um and I don't know. That's part of who he is. And I don't see the hate for this movie. I think he Anthony Mackie killed this role. I love the new Cap. I love it. I think he embodies what Captain America is.
Apples to oranges, right?
Grapes to
They're
strawberries.
fruit. They're comparable, but they're exactly right. Like, what are they to each other, and what are they at the same time, right? Like, you cannot compare them on the same level. They're just in alone with what you just said, a man at a time, in their own perspective times. Like Caps, I just did it too. Steve's not around anymore,
You
right?
got to get
He's
used
not
to it.
here to face what would you say modern day struggles, right?
Yeah.
And Sam is dealing with that in the present time. We
Yeah.
don't know where Steve is. Maybe he's actually time traveling. We'll see him again. Who knows? I don't know. Highly unlikely, but if it happens, you
Never
heard it
know.
here first. It's hard to compare him, my man. I do agree with you. Anthony Mackie was just awesome in this movie. I found myself wanting to fight with him, and he had that hoorah energy that, honestly, that's what Cap's about,
Yeah.
right? Is a man you want to follow.
One thing I
It doesn't
noticed.
matter about super strength or anything like that. And I loved the constant joke on, man, Bucky was full of it, man. I should have taken that serum.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I agree. All
I
right.
would have been nice probably.
We'll get into that later. I think he should have taken it. That's just
Yeah.
me. But one thing that I noticed very early on when they were intercepting the shipment and the package, Sam is not afraid to disobey orders from from his superior, technically, because he does work for the government. He's not afraid to disobey orders in order to do what's right, in order to protect people, because his orders were to secure the package. And while he was trying to do that, he knew there were hostages, and he went after them first. And I just noticed that right from the start. And that was one thing that solidified him as Captain America for me, because that's something Steve did in his role as Captain America. And now that's why he chose Sam, because he's willing to do that too. He's going to do what's right, regardless of if it's what he's being ordered to do. So that stuck out to me right away.
Absolutely, man. I Going back to the first Captain America, right, where he goes and rescues hundreds, if not 1,000 people that were prisoners of war. And the scene of them marching back into their base, of him leading the charge and just everybody following, bro, I'm thinking about that, getting goosebumps. Like,
Yeah.
how powerful that is. All the way to Steve, Avengers Assemble, which is, honestly, remember when, I don't know if you still do this or not, but watch a scene like that to get fired up for when we would play a baseball game or go to the gym or something like that. It's just so cool. It's so inspiring, so much energy behind it. Now we're translating that into Sam,
Yeah.
and he's doing the exact same thing. Just to your point exactly, bro. He's the man. That's why Steve chose him, for that
Agreed.
reason right there.
And I liked the relationship between Steve and Sam. And now we get more of that, because we get Sam and Torres. I love their relationship. I love how they play off of each other, um,
Mm.
both in real life, acting, and their what's the word I'm looking for? Their chemistry in the actual MCU. I think they play really well, and I think Torres is going to make a great sidekick, a great Falcon as well. Um, Still has a lot to learn. I think it was cool at the end seeing Cap give him, the secret to the kick move or whatever it was. He gives him the secret. He's like, oh, damn, there it is. So we're gonna see
Yeah.
that a lot moving forward, where Cap's gonna be teaching him the ways. So I'm excited to see that. But I think Danny Ramirez killed it as Torres once again. He brings a lot of lighthearted like comedy and fun to the role.
I think we're really going to get a lot of growth from Torres moving forwards. I really liked him as a character, and I don't want this to come off as I don't want to call this a negative because I think it's intentional. I found him a little annoying,
I
but
think
again,
he's
intentionally.
yeah, I think he's immature.
Exactly. He's immature. He's still a kid. Like I know I mean, he's still a kid, right? Like
Yeah.
he's a young adult who has a lot to learn. He's
Hmm.
like that little annoying cousin type of energy. Like, hey, I was like, he looks up to this person. He's so excited to be around him. Hey, man,
Hmm.
let's go get ice cream. Let's go to the movie. Let's go do this. Let's go do this together,
Yeah.
right? It's that type of energy that he's putting on to Sam, which just shows how much he looks up to him,
Hmm.
right? But again, I think he will come into his own, just like every young Avenger question mark. If that's still a storyline they're going to dabble in at some point. I think that kind of fits the criteria of a coming of age, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. So we have Anthony Mackie that killed it as Cap. We have Danny Ramirez that killed it as Torres. How about I almost said Han Solo. How about Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Ross? How do you think he did?
Great,
That ass. I thought
great.
he
I
killed
mean,
it.
that's how I would sum it up, right, bro? I was wondering when it was gonna happen
Red
the
Hulk?
whole time, like
Yeah.
Red Hulk, and I thought the amount of time we got him was actually perfect because it was getting toward the end of the movie, and I'm like, bro, when is this gonna happen?
Yeah.
I did not we knew who the villain was gonna kind of be and stuff, right? Like we had an idea of what was gonna happen, but I still did not expect it to turn out that way, that he had that much control over him and like the whole storyline of his heart stopping and just the slow infection of the gamma radiation into his body through those pills that he was taking.
I agree.
Absolutely wild, bro.
Something my buddy said, I asked him what he thought, and something he said I did want to bring up. He said, I liked how everything played out. I would have it would have been interesting to see if the two roles were reversed. If the leader, there was this build up to the leader where they were keeping like the fans knew who he was. If you saw the Incredible Hulk, you watched if you knew what was going to happen in this movie, you knew who the leader was, you knew who the villain was. Um, so we kind of had a slow burn at that. We had half of his face showing in the shadows a lot. But in the trailers, we saw Red Hulk, and they had to. I
Mm-hmm.
think they had to show Red Hulk to get more people to come see the movie. So I understand that
100%.
marketing aspect. But imagine if we get this Captain America: Brave New World movie, not knowing 100% that Ross is going to turn into Red Hulk. Imagine like
Mm-hmm.
the fans that know the lore know Ross is at some point he is Red Hulk, but and we knew that he was going to turn into Red Hulk because of the trailers and everything and the posters. But imagine had we not known that and we were getting this tease throughout the movie. We have Ross taking pills. We have the leader trying to get him to break out. And then we have the scene where he's on the naval ship and his eyes are turning red. Imagine not knowing 100% that Red Hulk's going to come out and seeing that and just being able to experience like holy crap, he might become Red Hulk. I thought that would
That
have
would
been
have been
very interesting.
literally a stand up like in the theater, like, oh my, are you
I
like
know.
freaking out moment? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I get it because of marketing. They had to market Red Hulk so people would be
Yeah, had to.
so I think it's one so the fans would be like, oh shit, Red Hulk's finally here. And also for people who might not be as invested would see similar to how somebody in the movie said, like, when did they become red? So now I know people ask me like,
Yeah.
how was he red? Because they thought it was the same Hulk. Um, so
Hmm.
I get both sides. I get that they had to market it so people would go see the movie and just draw more people to the theater. But I think it would have been cool. And my buddy made a great point. It would have been cool if this slow burn was leading to Red Hulk and not the leader.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, that would have been perfect, but you pointed it out right there. Like
Yeah,
if that wasn't known, this movie would have not done well opening weekend.
exactly. Exactly. I think it rated second in the box office among Captain America movies, being beaten out only by Civil War, which Civil War was basically Avengers
Respect,
3.
respectfully, I
Yeah.
actually I saw a TikTok today talking about Civil War, and something bad happens to every single member of Team Cap.
Well, Team Iron Man didn't exactly make it out as well
No, but
either.
if you look at
He's dead.
all of them, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Great point. Everybody else though did okay.
Yeah. Well, Vision is not doing well
Yeah,
either.
yeah, I guess you're
Black
right.
Widow's dead.
Bro, how cool were the suits?
Oh, if that pop
Sick.
if that pop you have is still up for grabs, I will gladly
I
take it now.
It's so funny. So the pops that I don't currently have out in display, I keep in my closet, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a place for them,
You
but
got it
I
out.
am seriously switching. I'm gonna switch that one out for the one from Falcon Winter Soldier
Well, what's funny
because,
is go ahead, I'm sorry.
bro, just the Wakanda stuff that had to deal
Yeah.
with all of it. That was cool. Watching him have that purple energy glow around him to send back at his enemy, and like the Ant-Man kind of look. You know what I'm saying? In the
Not
mask,
really. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. In the
that's
mask.
all I kept seeing in the
Yeah.
mask was like an Ant-Man mask.
Yeah. Right when the movie was over, I was like, oh man, I'm too late to ask Alec for that pop because I know you offered it to me. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm gonna get one of the other
Yeah.
ones. Then I saw the
Yep.
movie, I was like, damn, I want it, but I know
Crap.
once he sees the movie, he is not gonna want to give
He's
it
gonna
up.
want this. Yep.
But I do want to
100%,
get
dude.
speaking of pops, and it kind of leads into another conversation as well. The leader, his
Hmm.
Funko Pop was him. I think there's a lot of controversy because one, the way he was marketed, the look that he had was much different than what we got in the movie. And in the
Yeah.
marketing and in the Funko Pop itself, it's a very
Yeah.
bit, which it was more comic accurate. It's a very tall head. It's a normal face, but then a very tall head. He's got like a 7 head, not a 4 head, and he's like bald, and it's just all green.
But there's
So
some
that was
hair though,
a little
right?
bit.
A
And then in the
little bit.
movie, we see he kind of still has a decently normal sized head. It's just the brain is all jacked up, which I don't understand why people are hating on it so much. Like, yes, it is different than the comics, but I think they had
It's
to.
just hard.
It's a movie. It's different. They.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty cool how they made him look a lot more deformed in different ways, and I feel like they show that all the brain stuff to make you realize, wow, he is that smart. His brain is ginormous instead of just having a Megamind green head, you know?
Yeah, a Megamind.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just
Great
my
movie,
opinion.
by the way.
I feel like, and I've been telling people because when they asked me if I liked it, I said yes. I tell them I feel like a lot of people are going into the movie looking for things to criticize. And that's not how I go to watch a movie. I go in most of the time I'm going to enjoy it. There have not been a lot of things that I haven't enjoyed, but I go in looking for things to enjoy. And I feel like the opposite is for a lot of other people. They want something to criticize. And I almost feel like it's the cool thing to do now to crap on Marvel, and it's just, I don't think all of it's necessary.
No doubt. I mean, it's you can't trust the Rotten Tomato stuff, right? Like,
No.
what did it score? Rotten Tomatoes
52.
and IMDb. No way, bro. Like
Yeah.
I know like some things are rated so high that are just terrible, and then vice
Yeah.
versa, right?
Yep. I'm going to look up something really quick. Uh, and again, this is just my opinion. All right. So I am looking up what is the green. Oh, wow. What is the green thing next to the tomato? So there's the tomato, and then
That's the
there's the,
gross meter or whatever,
well, there's this. There's
right?
because I'm looking up
Yeah, yeah.
She-Hulk. I'm looking up She-Hulk. And next to the tomato, it says 79% average tomato meter, and then average popcorn meter is 32%.
I
What is the
can't see it.
difference? Okay, yeah, my bad. What's the difference between those two? Like,
I
Either
don't know. I'd
way,
have to see it.
either
Yeah.
way, they have She-Hulk at 79%. And then I'm gonna look up Brave New World Rotten Tomatoes. Which who came up with that name?
It's
Brave
because
New
you
World.
throw Rotten
Okay,
Tomatoes at the stage if the performance is bad.
this is how. Wow, that glass shattered. That makes perfect sense. All right, so for She-Hulk, the critic score was 79. Wait, 79, and the audience was 32.
Mhm.
Right there. And then Captain America: Brave New World, the Rotten Tomatoes score, the critic score was 49, and the audience was 80. So that says
Yeah.
everything you need to know. I'm sorry, this is just my opinion. If you like She-Hulk, that's completely fine. I thought She-Hulk was one of the worst things I've ever watched in my life. You and I were doing reactions for it week by week, and it was a chore to get through it. The only saving grace was Daredevil. That's it. That was a trash show. And that's just my opinion. Again, if you like it, I apologize. I don't want to insult what you like. In my opinion, I hated it. So to see the crit and that's what a lot of people
God, you
thought
did
too.
hate it.
Yeah, the fans
That's so
were
wild.
rated at 32%. So you have just complete opposite scores from critics and fans for each. It's just complete opposite. So why do people continue to listen or let it affect their opinion before they even watch the movie? I don't
Because
get it.
haters gonna hate, man. Haters
Haters
gonna
are gonna
hate.
hate. All right, so I don't think we spent enough time talking about Harrison Ford as Thaddeus, though.
No way,
I
bro.
think we got into Red Hulk, but man, he killed this role. He killed it.
He really did. What was the actor's name?
Harrison Ford.
No, the one that
Who?
passed.
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember.
Gosh,
R.I.P.
wait,
Rest in peace to him.
I need to look this up.
All right, we gotta look it up. Thaddeus Ross, actor. William Hurt.
William Hurt. William Hurt.
Wow,
Yep.
you are so good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. William Hurt. He killed it too, and I wish he could have finished
I
it.
know it. Absolutely. But I mean, I'm never gonna turn down an opportunity to watch Harrison Ford.
No, no, he killed it.
I am curious to see how he is gonna act about this role moving
He's had some
forward. With
pretty,
everyone knows about his Star Wars stuff.
yeah, he's had some pretty funny interviews because you know what to expect with him. He's had some,
Yeah.
you gotta watch him. There's one where the interviewer asked him like, how easy is it for you to turn off the embarrassment to be Red Hulk? And he was like, I don't mean to pop your bubble, but he goes like, he's like, that's what the money's for. That's what the money's for. And he's like,
His like
poof,
cheeks kind of
gone.
like jiggle with it and stuff.
Yeah, it was freaking
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything for money. There has to be a vision, but makes it a lot easier. So I thought he killed the role. I did like how they kind of playfully addressed that not only did he shave the mustache, but it is a new actor when Cap comes in and says, I like the new look. So I think that had that double entendre to it where
Mhm.
um
I
it
like that they
had
did show him with the mustache though.
yeah, I agree, freaking out in that press conference. That was pretty
Yeah.
funny. It was I think it was funny how in this movie it became more apparent to me than ever that you're going to have to get explanation in each movie because if you don't watch the shows, if you don't watch the previous movies, you might be lost. Well, you will be lost. Like
Very.
if you haven't seen Incredible Hulk, it's going to be pretty hard to keep up with it. Um, if you hadn't seen Eternals, they're like, what is this giant alien stone in the ocean? All of this stuff.
I'm glad they finally addressed it. The elephant in the room for the last 3 years.
Yeah. And the thing about it too is I had a buddy, he came up to me, he doesn't really watch shows. He's like, hey man, like genuine question, like when did Falcon, when did he become Cap? I was like, when? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, what's the last movie you watched? It was like, what's the last Marvel thing you watched? He was like, think Infinity War. I was like, dude, you're 7 years
Dude, there's been
behind.
so much.
You're 7 years behind. Like, he's like, where's Steve? It's like, well, the mofo is probably dead.
Yeah,
They didn't explicitly say it, but it's like, dude, so much has happened.
it's
So in Marvel
assumed,
movies
yeah.
now, because there are 30 movies and 10 to 15 TV shows, they do have to do a bit of explaining so people know what's going on. Um, but it's also nice as a fan who, we're in the trenches with it. It is nice to get a refresher in the movie, you know?
No doubt. I mean, there's so much
Yeah.
information to process, right? Honestly, I could see it becoming a thing where they like insert the narrator from SpongeBob one eternity later,
That
but like does like the whole what Captain America, whatever.
yeah, no, you're not wrong. All right, so how about Sabra? She was trained in the Red Room. She's Thaddeus's head of security.
How
I
about
didn't
that?
trust her
Yeah.
at first. I didn't
I
trust her
did
at
not
first.
like her at first. No
No, you're not
way.
supposed to. You're not supposed to like her at first. And I think they make it to where, he says right in front of her, your inner circle is compromised, and they want you to think that it's her. I thought I was like, okay, it's there's something up with her, but it's almost a little too obvious that it wasn't, But still, I was fully invested. I will say it was a very thrilling movie because there was a lot. It kept me on my toes a lot where I didn't know what was happening, you know?
Hmm. Absolutely. I didn't know what obviously we didn't know what was going to happen with her. She's a all new character does. But I was blown away when she found out that she trained in the Red Room. That's so
It was
cool.
sick. It was sick.
I actually, it sucks. I actually went to the bathroom real quick at that part. I was like,
What
this is a
part?
slow mo. I'm gonna go. That part. I was gone for like a minute. I literally sprinted like
Really?
across like the
Uh,
movie theater. Yeah. I got an extra large soda. I drank it really fast during the
yeah,
trailers, and I was like, oh God, 45 minutes in, I was like, I gotta go. Uh,
yeah. She
but I
killed
came
it
back
though.
and she was great, 100%.
She was.
Super excited about that part. She went off in the scene where the Flashes got Isaiah
Oh
to
yeah.
turn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dude,
She went
watching
off.
her goes nuts. Well, you kind of assumed she had some sort of training along those lines because not just
Yeah.
any person can do that. Her and Sam are
And
just going in.
she's the head of security for the president of the United States too. It's
Yeah,
she had to. I
had
one
to be
thing I want
stressful.
to talk about is the entire time. Let me ask you this. Was there another movie? It's not Marvel. Was there another movie that when you were watching this, you were like, this seems like a remake of this movie? Was there another movie that you thought of at all?
What scene are you talking about though? Or just in
Um,
general?
I'll say everything with like the leader and them infiltrating his place.
No, another moment reminded me of a different
Yeah.
movie, and I think it's just because like when they showed Harrison Ford biking on that Peloton on Air Force One, I thought of like uh shoot, what's it called? Is it like Olympus Has Fallen or one of those
Oh,
any
really?
presidential movie that they're on like on Air Force One?
Yeah,
What were you thinking of though?
dude. I for a long time, I was thinking this is a remake of Incredibles 2 because you have the screenslaver. Yes, you have the screenslaver that's taking over these screens, hypnotizing
Yeah.
people. His voice. I asked Rosemary. I asked my fiance. For those of you who don't know, fiance's name is Rosemary. I asked Rosie. I was like, "Did you get vibes of another movie?" She was like, "Dude, it was Incredibles 2." I was like, "Yes." The leader's voice was in the same like, oh, you think you're safe. Blah, blah, blah. It was in the same tone, sounded exactly like the screenslaver. And then it just how everything was playing out with Elastigirl and the screenslaver was how Cap was with the leader. And then in The Incredibles 2, she breaks into his lair and there are all these panels on the wall, right? There, dude, I have goosebumps because for Incredibles 2, it's for a Disney movie, it's creepy. There's all these things on the walls about um hypnotics, hypnotize.
Hmm.
What's the word I'm looking?
Hypnosis.
Hypnosis, hypnosis. And there's all these panels, and during it, all the panels start flashing black and white. It disorients her. When they walk in, there's stuff about hypnosis, and they have the same panels on the wall. So I was like, dude, is this gonna happen? Which that part didn't. But dude, I was totally getting Incredibles 2 vibes for a long time.
That's wild, bro. I hope how the leader was able to do this plan. Crazy, bro. Like that just shows intelligence. I felt so bad for Isaiah. I
Oh,
think that's intentional. Obviously, that was hard, bro. That was hard to
yeah.
watch.
Well, let's get into Isaiah a little bit. I actually kind of jumped out of my seat when he started shooting at Ross. I actually went like,
Yes.
I was like, what is going on? Because I knew that couldn't have been him. Like when that's going on, I was like, there's no way. Like there is an explanation behind this that explains that this is not him. There's no way. It can't be. Because I think he's
There's no way.
go ahead, go ahead.
There's no way they could have been him. They wouldn't have paid that much attention to detail talking about the things they didn't like about them for about the president for it to immediately turn into that. That's too obvious. If that makes sense, like it's too obvious. They wouldn't have made that the storyline. There's no way he would have done this 30 years ago when he got out of prison if he was going to do it. Like
Yeah,
why wait until right now to do it?
and he wasn't even supposed to be there. He like Sam practically had to beg him to come. So I
Yes.
knew it, dude, right when he's standing outside and he looks at Sam and he says, what's going on? What happened? My heart broke because what's his name? Who plays him? He oh my gosh, it was incredible. Carl Lumbly,
No,
his performance playing a battered man who was imprisoned for 30 years
mistreated and
and
just yeah.
experimented on. All he wants is his freedom. And he keeps saying, I can't go back on the inside. I can't go back. And just the hopelessness in his eyes as they take him to prison again. Dude, it was heartbreaking.
Bro, he said, "Watch my suit." Like the suit he
Yes.
got married in. Like that's oh, bro. And that fast forward to he eventually gets out and he gets his suit back. But like God,
Yeah.
bro, like I thought that they were gonna tear it or something, like which would have even just added on to
Yeah.
just the overall just crappy moment, bro. I don't even know how else to describe it. Like that just sucks.
I don't either. It was
The scene in prison
yes,
between
where
Him and Sam.
yeah, he's like, don't come
Whoa.
back.
When they
He's
when
like,
they
I'm not
that
making it out
camera
this
angle
time.
and just like staring into his soul, bro. Like
Yeah.
that was emotional.
No, he brought Isaiah Bradley to life. He really did. I think it was really cool to see him in his gym, in his office and everything because he just wants to live a simple life. It looks like he just wants to be free. Um,
I thought when Sam told Torres, "I got just the guy that taught me everything." I thought that was going to be Bucky,
oh really?
that they were going to go train with Bucky,
Yeah,
but I was very pleasantly surprised that it was Isaiah.
yeah, dude. Their relationship is really cool too, because it's almost like that uncle and nephew vibe, but where
Mhm.
it's family. All in all, I think these characters, they have the perfect actors to portray them. I wouldn't pick anybody else, honestly.
Well, I mean, that's one thing that just Disney in general does, and obviously Marvel beforehand,
Yeah.
Marvel Studios, they cast incredibly well.
Oh, they do. They do. Now let's
I
get
mean, there's a rare miss every once in a while for sure, but bro, everybody kills it.
100%. 100%. Now let's get to the big one. Sam Wilson, Captain America, and the one thing that this is the one thing that made me tear up in the movie. It really did. He's rebuilding the Avengers. Just
Hell yeah.
hearing that again, hearing Ross say, I need you to rebuild the Avengers. And then hearing it again towards the end that when Sam was telling Bucky that he needs to rebuild the Avengers, I I lost it. And then there was a scene at the end where again, I think it was when he was talking to Torres about rebuilding the Avengers again too. That's when I lost it because I felt all the feels again. It was the first time in a long time where I've enjoyed a lot of the most recent movies. Even when I left Eternals, I was like, I didn't think, oh, that was awful. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. But I didn't leave in with
And then like this
absolute
awe, like, oh
excitement.
my God, that was amazing. Like
Yes.
pumped about it.
There
I found
wasn't
myself
that.
leaving the theater
Yes,
excited.
I was genuinely excited for the future. And when I posted a picture of myself on our Instagram in front of the poster, and I said that in the post, I said, this is the first time in a long time I've been genuinely excited for the future of the MCU. Because, dude, he's rebuilding the Avengers. That's not going to be an easy task. That's going to be very difficult, but it's going to be it's just going to go back to the roots of where the MCU started, and I'm really excited for that.
Absolutely. I mean, we knew it had to happen in some capacity, right? We
Yeah.
know Avengers, Doctor Doom, and what's it called? Going to be called?
Um,
Um,
5 and 6.
Secret Wars and
Secret Wars, that's it. Secret Wars
yeah,
and
Secret
Doomsday.
Doomsday. Thank you, Doomsday. Jeez, can't believe we're blanking on that. We knew Avengers was coming back in some capacity. It
Yeah.
has to. With the
Hmm.
question is just when and how, right?
Yeah.
And I love that the responsibility is getting put back into Captain America's hands because he always picks the right ones, right?
Yeah. I'd say, the Infinity Saga, it was Iron Man building it. And now we got Cap putting it back together. I'm so excited. Um, this movie was really different. It was very similar in a lot of ways. One thing was at the very end, Captain America will return. That gave me goosebumps. It was incredible.
Hell yeah.
It was incredible. But the one thing that was different, it didn't have the signature Marvel Studios comic flip. Did you notice that?
I did.
And I don't I'm sure there's an explanation why on the internet somewhere, but I was one and I
A new
knew
era.
I had seen before the movie that it didn't have it. So when I walked into the theater and I actually saw it, it was kind of disappointing. It was almost like when you saw Rogue One, where I freaking love Rogue One, but it was the first Star
It
Wars
didn't
movie
say
without an opening crawl. It was the first one. So this was a very similar feeling where I felt like I was definitely missing it, and it just felt like just something was missing in it. And I think that played a big part, and I would love to know why.
I don't know, man. I'm curious if it's just a rebrand
Let
to
me.
say.
I'm
Like
just gonna Google it.
a new look, a new direction.
Why
That's what
was
I would
Marvel
imagine.
logo different in Captain America? All right. Goodness gracious. In Brave New World. Let's check it
Got to be
out.
specific.
Why did MCU the leader design of no oh, this is Reddit. It says no Marvel Studios logo at the start of the new Captain America trailer. Just read a post that pointed out something I completely missed. The new Captain America Brave New World trailer is missing the usual Marvel Studios logo at the start. Oh, this is the trailer. They suggest that this absence might be more than just a design choice. It could be hinting at a shift in how Marvel is approaching this phase of the MCU with a tone that feels closer to old political thrillers from the 60s and 70s. That's just a guess, but
Huh.
yeah.
Just a design choice is all it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I was missing it though. It didn't feel the same. Didn't feel the same. Um, but man, he's rebuilding the
Nick's a
Avengers.
sucker for
So
nostalgia.
yeah. I'll tell you something too. It was really cool seeing the trailers for Fantastic Four and uh like
Thunderbolts,
Thunderbolts asterisk. And
asterisk.
did you see why there's an asterisk?
No, I was I've still been wondering that.
I think in the Chinese poster it says Thunderbolts asterisk, and then below it says asterisk Avengers were not available. So I think that's why that's a good explanation because even um
Yeah.
what's her name? Uh Louis Dreyfus, Elaine, but she said it, and the Avengers aren't coming. They're not available. So I think that's a cool callback. That like if they were here, we'd call them, but they're not. So we got to go with the Thunderbolts.
But they're not. So you got
Yeah.
us. Sorry about your luck.
All right. So we're
Which
rebuilding the
that looks
Avengers.
incredible. I can't wait for that. I
Oh,
love
100%.
Red Guardians. Awesome.
Yeah.
And how cool did Ghost costume look or suit look?
It looked really neat. Really neat. All right, so they're building the Avengers. We've gone through pretty much the entire cast. Um, thinking of the movie as a whole, I saw someone point out that this really isn't a Captain America sequel. This is an Incredible Hulk sequel. And I thought that was hilarious. It was so true because I was sitting there next to Rosie and I realized she's never seen the Incredible Hulk. And I've only seen it a couple times, only a couple, but it made me want to go back and watch it, you know? And I just thought that
Yeah,
was,
it's
I
not
thought
on a
that was
bunch of
really
it's
cool.
not on a bunch of platforms, so it's kind of hard to watch.
It is, but I think this makes it made me more excited to go back and watch it and see how they got from point A to point B, you know?
Oh no. Oh yeah. I remember I saw that in theaters. I'll never forget that.
Did you really? That's
Yeah.
nuts. That's awesome. The first one I saw in theaters was
It
the
was a buddy
Avengers.
of mine's birthday party. We were in the third grade.
Third grade.
Third grade.
Third grade. It came out in 2009.
No, you're
Dude,
right. You're
Iron
right.
Man came
You're
out
right.
in
You're right.
'08.
No, you're right. It was sixth grade. It was sixth grade.
Came out the year we met. I think it came out
Yes,
in
it
'09.
did.
It came out later than '08. I know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, the first one I saw was Avengers, and then I had to go once I saw Avengers, I was hooked because I was a lot younger then. And then I had to go back and rewatch everything. Um, so I only, at least on my list, I only had a couple more things I wanted to talk about. One, I know we touched on it briefly, but Cap suit. It was it was incredible. The things that this suit can do, the design, the Wakandans kill it as always. They killed it so much that Torres wants to ask them for a solid now too and build him one. I thought it was
Can't
incredible.
ask him for a solid. Sam's got his new signature move, that like wing slice
Yeah,
thing. He did that like 16 times. It was sick.
dude, he was surfing a missile. Did you catch
Yeah.
that part? He was literally
Yes. And he
surfing on a
dunked it right under
missile.
the water.
Dude, it
Yeah,
was
that was sick.
unbelievable. I thought the action in this movie was unreal, and just Captain America being able to fly now was awesome.
Oh, bro, have you just noticed the trend of people that like to fly next to Sam usually pummel to the ground and nearly die?
What do you mean?
Because so remember in Civil War, Vision tried to shoot Falcon down and he missed
Yeah.
and
Oh,
hit
Rhodey.
Rhodey. Yeah, and he
And
goes
now,
pummeling down. Same thing happened
yep,
with Torres.
that ass, that ass. You're not wrong. You know what? You know what's really cool about Cap's new suit? And it was right at the start of the movie when he flies down super fast and lands on the ground, and everybody's looking
Hmm.
around at him. He's like, "Wait for it." And then what is it? This not the sonic boom, but the aftershock or whatever the scientific term was, um, for the energy or force catching up to him landing. The aftershock just blows everybody out because he was flying that fast and hit the ground so hard.
Supersonic speed.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was so cool. It was just cool to
Absolutely.
see Captain America be able to do a little more, you know?
It reminded me a lot of of Cap's or Steve's Infinity War suit,
Yeah. No, I
just
agree.
in the design.
There was it The suit like had different looks. Like at some point it looked a lot brighter, and then in some points it
Hmm.
did look a lot darker.
I wonder if
And
that's useful for camouflage and such.
maybe. I know we touched on it briefly at the beginning. Do you think he should have taken the serum?
Well, here's the thing, man. You sacrifice what he stands for if he does.
Yeah, like, and this is, I feel like
But I mean, bro, you could have taken Red Hulk down significantly easier and probably done a lot less damage and hurt a lot less people if you had taken him.
maybe.
So I mean,
And that's the thing where I understand why he didn't. I do understand that. And it's cool to see him want to do it himself. He's like, no, I just got to work harder. And I respect that. I respect that. But there's also that idea of working smarter, not harder too. And I feel like he's just benefiting the people around him and just civilians if he does take it. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with taking it. Like if there was something wrong with taking it, I don't think Cap would have taken it in the first place. So I don't
right.
understand why it has to be this negative thing that he takes the serum.
I don't know. I mean, again, I think he's just supposed to be a regular person. I probably would have. And maybe he does at some point. I don't know. Maybe not at this point. It's kind of, again, everything that this movie was about. But
Yeah.
we'll
I don't
see.
know.
I really wanted Bucky to all of a sudden show up in that big fight.
Yeah, I figured he wasn't. And
No
the
way.
reason
They
why
said,
was,
I gotta catch a flight. So like
yeah,
we knew he wasn't gonna come back in the movie.
he got Saber all hot and bothered too. She wanted a
Yeah.
slice of Bucky pie for sure. Um, early on, Sebastian Stan was supposed to be in the movie more. And I think maybe about a year ago, we found out that he was not going to be in it because of Thunderbolts. So leading up to the movie, I was very curious if he was going to be in it at all. And I think that I thought if he was going to be in it, it was going to be in a very similar role in how it played out. So I
Yeah.
thought exactly how he was in it. That's how I pictured him being in it after we found out that he wasn't like really officially in the movie a lot. And I think he came in right at the exact time. And I know this might sound a little weird, but I love how at the end, right before he leaves, he was like, I love you, bro. I loved that because I feel like it's kind of like people kind of judge you if you tell your bros, like, hey, I love you, man. I feel like people kind of judge it, but it's like, these people are family. So I like that. I don't know. I like
I
that he
immediately
said
went
that. It
back to
was
the
cool.
scene when they're in the yellow Volkswagen. I hate you. It's come
Yeah.
full circle.
Dude, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, man. I'm
I love how much
excited.
their friendship has developed.
Oh yeah, and I'm excited to
And
see
it would
Bucky.
make Steve happy, man. It would
Yeah,
make Steve happy.
I'm excited to see Bucky back in action too. Because but it's interesting because he's running for office, so I wonder how that's gonna play out
Yeah.
in Thunderbolts.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Congressman Buchanan James Barnes.
dead ass. I don't know how that's gonna work
James
out.
Buchanan Barnes.
Yeah.
I said it backwards.
Um. But yeah, no, that was really cool. So we talked about Cap suit. I only have two more things. One, we got to talk about the end fight. We got to talk about it. I thought that was sorry, we got to talk about three more things because I forgot about the post credit. The end fight, I thought it was awesome. Did I think? I don't know. I think it would have taken him a little longer to kind of break the Red Hulk
Beat a
like he
Hulk.
did. Yeah, I think it would
Yeah.
have taken a bit longer, but also it's a movie. You got it's.
The good
I
guys
thought it
got to
was
win.
yeah, I thought it was a really good action scene. I thought it came out, the Red Hulk came out at the exact right time, which is exactly how the leader drew it up, exactly how he drew it up. He was like, I got to turn myself in now, so it happens, and then it happens exactly how he says it's gonna happen. People are crapping on the Red Hulk's design, which I don't get.
He's a big red Hulk. What's he supposed to look like?
Exactly, what is he supposed to
What's he
look like?
supposed?
Like what else did they expect? I thought he looked
He looked the
realistic.
same as the other Hulk, but red
Yeah.
and a little bigger.
I yeah, he's red. He looked like Harrison Ford still. I saw some people like, Harrison's Ford hair was snow white. Why is Red Hulk's black? And I thought that was kind of the
Well,
point. I was like, why is it red? Why is it
Banner
black?
has salt and pepper,
Yeah, but I think
and
Hulk,
Hulk's hair is black.
Well, as he gets towards the end of the MCU, it gets more gray.
Okay, well
But
then
either
there's your answer.
but either
Because
way,
that goes back because Hulk only ages when he is Hulk.
and that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Is the first time we see Hulk, he's a monster, and then the first time we really hear him talk, like conversation, was Ragnarok, and he sounds like a little kid. So
Hmm.
I was actually in the shower when I was thinking this. I was like, man, why was Red Hulk's hair black? And that's exactly what I thought. Like this is the first time Red Hulk has ever come out, so he has to go through that aging process too. But people are quick to crap on things, so if
I don't
his
know,
hair
man. I
color
liked
is
him. I thought he was cool.
I did too.
If his
I
hair
did
color's
too.
a little bit off, and that's the worst we got, then I think we're all right.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought the fight was awesome.
Oh, I
I
feel
was
bad for those beautiful, beautiful trees
what were they called?
that were just
Cherry
cherry
blossoms.
blossoms. Yeah.
I was surprised he got him to calm down so easily. Like that was the only part that was a little unbelievable for me because like towards the end he was like, "Please tell me I knocked him out," and then he just comes busting through the rubble. I was like, "Oh
You're like,
man," I
oh,
feel like he just gave him everything he had. What else does he have? And then he just kind of calmed him down. Sun's getting real low, but
same,
I don't.
100%.
Yeah, no,
Did you not
exactly.
think of Spider-Man: Homecoming during that
For what?
scene when he hit the Washington Monument?
Oh yeah, 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 yep,
It was like the same camera angle. I'm like, hey, Spider-Man crawled right there,
yeah. Dead ass, dead ass. It was
right
good, man.
there.
It's crazy that he was president, but he stepped down, and now talk about more for full circle. Last time we saw the raft, one of the last times we saw the raft, Falcon was in there and Ross was on the other side somewhere. And now roles are reversed. He's on the raft. Who knows how long he's going to be in there? And then somewhere else on the raft, leading to the post-credit scene, we have the leader. So what did you think of there not being a mid-credit scene?
Interesting choice. It's never been that way,
Typically,
right?
I wouldn't say never.
There's
Like
a mid credit.
sometimes there is
There's
just one, but
It's
yeah,
usually a mid credit.
I I was surprised that yeah, there's nothing in the middle. But what did you think of the actual post credit?
Um, Remind me.
It was of the leader in the raft when Cap was talking to him.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said,
God,
well,
he said they're coming or something
yeah,
like
he was talking about
God.
you're
Okay, I remember. Okay.
you're
We're good.
fighting people
No,
from this
so
world. What are you gonna do
that's got to
when
be a Planet Hulk setup.
I wasn't thinking Planet Hulk. It could be. It could be.
That's where I went right away because we know that's like a project.
I didn't immediately go to Planet Hulk. I just went to, you're fighting fighting bad guys from this universe. What are you gonna do when the other ones from the multiverse? What are you gonna do when they start coming? And
Oh,
that's where,
okay, that makes sense.
but I think it could be a Planet Hulk thing too. But I don't know the extent of Planet Hulk in the comics, but I don't know, man. That just got me even more hyped because right when I heard that, I was thinking Doom because I know he comes from where I'm pretty sure he's coming from a different universe. Um, I don't know. I'm
Oh, it
just
has to
really.
be if it's RDJ.
Oh yeah, yeah. Facts, facts. Yeah. What are you gonna do when they come from the other worlds?
We get
That
all the variants.
dead ass, man.
Ooh,
Dude,
that's
he's
gonna be wild, bro.
putting together the Avengers, and I almost wish that Avengers 5 and 6. Because, dude, Avengers 5 comes out next year. Next year.
Oh,
I almost wish like we
yeah.
had more time for this to burn, like slow burn it a little more because it's kind of like going from phase 2 to Infinity War, you know what I mean? And the whole thing started in '08. Infinity War was 2018. That's 10 years. Endgame was in 2019. So 2020 was where it really kicked into gear for the multiverse saga. We're going to get the
Hmm.
first movie in 2026. I feel like drag it out a little bit. I want to be anxious and be eager for it a little more, you know?
No, I get it because once you watch it the first time, you can never watch it again for the first time again.
Exactly. Once it's here, it's here. And we had uh there were two Avengers movies before Infinity War, and I don't know. I just
At the same time, we're in a new day and age, right? Like
we
it
are.
doesn't have to be set up the same. And honestly, with the variant thing, they can add if they wanted to, they could add 17 characters tomorrow in our new
Yeah.
movie. That's a multiverse, and they're all a little bit different than the ones we already have. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not concerned as much about the buildup of this one because I think these are in themselves the buildup.
Agree. Oh, 100%. This is the buildup. I think what I worry about is what do you do once you're running, and we talked about this a couple years ago on the pod. What are you gonna do when you run out of big bads? We already they can't do Thanos again. He had his time.
No,
We're getting
he's done.
Yeah, he's done. We had Galactus, and we're getting Galactus in Fantastic Four, and we're getting Doctor Doom soon. So what do you I know there's more, but what are you really gonna do after that? Because
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to see a hard reboot. I don't want to see that. Like I want this thing to keep going. Um, but yeah, where
There
do you go
can't be a
after that?
reboot at this point. You can't start from the beginning again.
No,
It would
you can't.
never hit the same.
No, they struck gold, and even Kevin Feige has talked about that. Like we struck gold when we did this, because nothing in the history of cinema has ever compared to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Nothing. And I don't think anything ever will. I don't think it
I
will.
don't know if it can.
How could it? This was the first of its kind. Like they built the most expansive world there was. Mm, man,
Star
yeah.
Wars is on its way. I don't know. We'll see.
It is. It is 100%. But man, everything culminating into that one movie was unreal. So I just don't want them to I don't know. I don't want them to mess it up and do it too soon. Is all I'm saying.
That's fair.
All right. So the last thing that I had, unless you had anything else, just the big thing we haven't talked about was this Celestial. He's made of adamantium.
I'm fine. I'm glad they finally addressed it, man,
Yeah.
because we've talked to each other about it before. Does no one realize it's there? Like, what are they doing
Yeah.
with it? It can't just be sitting there.
Yep. And he's
Do they
made,
not think it's gonna wake up? What
I don't
happens when it
know.
just like continues to wake up? Like,
Well, he's
oh, it's
dead.
out of the way.
He's dead. But
No, you're right. You're
they don't
right.
know that. But my thing,
Hmm.
dude, it's adamantium, man. The X-Men are coming. You watched the Marvels, right?
Hmm.
All right, so we have Beast showing up in the Marvels. We have in Miss Marvel, she has a mutation. We're getting mutants. We have Deadpool and Wolverine, where the X-Men are coming. They're not coming. They're freaking here. Across the multiverse, the X-Men are there. They're there. So, and we are just inching closer and closer to the X-Men coming into our universe, into the MCU officially.
That's
I
wild,
can't
bro.
wait.
From where it was at in those, the 2000s X-Men and stuff to literally bring it all full circle, Wolverine and Deadpool and everything like that, bro. Like, I'm so excited for this portion of the MCU because these characters, I mean, I grew up watching the animated X-Men series. That was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
And so like seeing a lot of these characters actually come into the MCU, which is obviously hit different than any other Marvel piece ever. It's like a kid in a candy store, right? Like, shop, take a look, pick whoever you want. You're gonna be pumped about it.
Yeah. I'm just excited for them to finally come in because like I know you haven't watched What If season 3, have you?
No, no, I'm
Then I
behind on
can't.
that one.
All right. It's not a super huge
It's
spoiler.
fine.
I'm not going
It's
to tell
fine.
you anyways, but um one, you have to watch it. I actually
I know.
thoroughly I liked the end. It's very much like the other seasons of What If where there are some throwaway episodes where you just kind of have to get through them, but the ending was sick, and there is something I want to talk about that I can't really. It's just another X-Men reference that I can't really talk about here because I don't want to ruin it for you. But I don't know, man. The X-Men are coming, and they're coming fast, and I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, dude,
So
that's gonna be awesome.
yeah, next movie is it? Which one's next? Is it Fantastic Four or Thunderbolts?
I think
Let's
Thunderbolts
check.
is no. I think Fantastic Four is May.
Fantastic. I think that's July for release. All right, it's July 2025, and then Thunderbolts release May. All right, so Thunderbolts
Okay,
is
so
next.
Thunderbolts is next.
Thunderbolts is next. So I'm ready. I'm ready to see these characters again. We're getting Ghost, Yelena, Red Guardian, Bucky, Taskmaster. There's one I'm forgetting.
Taskmaster, yeah.
There's one I'm forgetting. I can't.
Oh,
What?
John Walker.
John Walker. Yes, we're getting these dark.
I
Not.
had to look at my Thunderbolts
Yeah.
pops set up over
You have
here.
the setup.
I'm like, who are we missing? Who are we missing?
Badass. We're getting. They're not heroes. They're not heroes. But I think the poster said, but they're available. Something like that.
Yeah,
Man.
they're available.
But like I said, leaving Captain America: Brave New World was the first time in a while where I've left the theater with genuine excitement for not just that movie, but the future of the MCU. And it just felt good. Just felt good.
It did. I
And
agree.
it makes me sad to see so many people that just didn't like it. Because you don't want to think it's for bad reasons, but it might be. But I also think just people look for they just look for the negatives. And I think that's just the problem with the world. Like look for the good in things. And that's why I like that we can get on here and talk about the good. You can't talk about the good without the bad, but I like that we focus on the good and just we can enjoy it.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you have to, right? You can
Yeah.
never enjoy anything if you just focus on the bad. So we gotta look
Yes,
at the
sir.
good side, man. Stay the light.
Was there anything else about the movie you want to talk about or anything moving forward?
No, I don't think so. It's funny because just all these Cap movies always have such a different vibe to it. I mean, they're always very militaristic and they have like almost a different color hue to them. They just
A
provide
little
just a different
darker.
mood to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
right? And like I missed that and it was good to have that finally. It's been a
Yeah.
little while.
Yeah. I definitely did get a lot of Winter Soldier vibes in this movie because
Hmm.
I didn't know what was going to happen. I was genuinely surprised in a lot of aspects. Um, it kept me on the edge of my seat a lot, and it had my heart rate going fast sometimes. I had some tears when they're mentioned the event, not streaming down my face, but dude, my eyes watered up when they were talking about getting the Avengers back together because
Just
that's
out of
how I
excitement. Yeah.
that's how I knew we're back. The Avengers are coming back. Um, I can't freaking wait. Uh, Last thing. Chris Evans has said publicly that he's retired from the MCU. Do you believe it?
Exactly what Harrison Ford said. Money, man.
Yeah,
No, I don't believe it. I think there's always a chance.
yeah.
I
Do
think
I
it's
think he?
very unlikely,
Yeah. Do I think he's
but
gonna get
not.
us? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Do I think he's getting a solo movie of him returning the Infinity Stones? No, but I don't think. I don't know. I don't think him popping up in one of these Avengers movies is out of the question. You know?
No, in a Secret Wars type situation, I mean,
Yeah.
we might see another Johnny Storm. You never know, man. I mean, I doubt that one exactly
Yeah.
because of what happened to him in Deadpool Wolverine, but
Yeah.
you never know, bro. There's always a chance. Money talks.
The fact that we have Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, I still don't know if I like that or not.
No, that's gonna be a decision that's made in a couple years.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, Do you have anything else?
No, man. Overall, great movie. Definitely
deal.
not 32 on what was the Rotten
50,
Tomato
52.
score? 50?
Yeah,
50?
52.
No way.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, so if you have not seen Captain America Brave New World, one, you should not be watching this because we are not trying to spoil anything. But, go see the movie for yourself. Do not listen to the critics. Go in there with your own expectations, not the expectations that the critics give you. Because if I went in there expecting 52, well, I don't know if I would have went in expecting 52, it would have blown my mind. But I went in expecting a good movie.
Yeah, right.
That's what I got. I genuinely liked this movie. So go see it for yourself. We appreciate you tuning into episode 94 of the podcast. And while you're here, we did record episode 93 last week for Star Wars Podcast Day 2025, the 5th annual, where we did talk about the future of Star Wars and where that's going with the new projects coming out this year, next year, the year after, just the future of Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars nerd, definitely go check that out because we had a lot of fun last week. And again, we're sorry for the year-long hiatus, but we are back and hopefully we are better than ever. We're excited to be back with reactions. We have new videos coming out every day on social media, on Fandom Facts, on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And yeah, we're excited to have you along for the ride. So we appreciate you being here. And until next time, you're on Carbonite Convos. Like always, may the Force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.